Hello, world. Welcome back to Let's Empower Wednesday. I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in. Hope y'all being safe. This week, I wanted to do something different than I usually do on Let's Empower Wednesday. I wanted, with all the things that's been going on in our country, uh, guys I've been talking to, and ladies, my wife, everybody just want to vent and just discuss, and just really take a woosah. So I felt this right. Something hit me in the middle of the night. I wanted to reach out to a couple of people, have them on. So we're kind of doing a quick panel discussion, just what's going on around our society. So myself, I reached out to a couple of people I know, dear friends, starting with the Queen, Rosita. She hailed from outside Detroit, Michigan. I met her through our coaching program, extreme execution program
Okay.
by Dr. Eric Thomas. So we gelled in, and I always been in contact ever since last year. So,
Absolutely.
Queen Rosita, tell the people, introduce to who you are.
Absolutely. Thank you first of all for having me. Again, my name is Rosita. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I actually have my own mentoring program. It's called Honey VU. We mentor youth from 12 to 18 years of age as they transition to the next phase of their life outside of high school. And I'm just happy to be here and happy to have this discussion.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. And y'all know this guy. Y'all kind of seen him last year in one of our Let's Empower Wednesdays. He's the guy who, people ask me who do the video production. He's the guy kind of behind the good videos, not what you've been seeing from
Okay.
me. He behind those good design videos of Let's Empower. My guy Nolan. Nolan, introduce yourself to the people, my man.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me too, Josh. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss it. Like you said, I'm Nolan. I live in Memphis right now. I'm from Iowa. I'm actually from around Des Moines area, which is seeing a lot of unrest right now as well. And I met Josh through we both work full time, but we're always doing stuff outside of that too. So I'm an audio engineer, a videographer, all that kind of stuff, motion graphic work that I like to do. So always trying to be a creative type. And so, that's me.
All right, good. Yeah, so y'all hit him up. You can catch him on IG, anything like that. NPA, if you need some work done, you know, he's worth the cost, y'all. I'm telling you, he's worth everything he does. He's worth it, and he executes. So, feel free to reach out to him. But don't keep him hold up too much because I'm out busy because I'm always need him. But now, serious though, let's get into it. Uh, you know, when I saw this, I kind of think back. Me and my wife was watching TV Saturday, and I really wasn't. I knew what was going on, but I wouldn't. What was going on with a lot of protests, and it hit me when I saw that, and it hit my heart. Really didn't know how to respond, and I something came to me, and what I saw when when people can't see or feel hope, people will rise. Unfortunately, sometimes they have destruction to it.
Mhm.
Uh, and a couple topics what we talking about is I want to ask each of the panel, how do you feel first and foremost? I want people just kind of vent, be candid, and discuss how you feel what's going on. And the second, the main thing, okay, once we said that, what are the next action steps? I really want to kind of take off what Killer Mike said the other day. This weekend is just really about, okay, how can we strategize, mobilize, and come
Mhm.
together after all this and keep the focus, the main thing about injustice. So
Correct.
I'm a first start off about how do I feel about the injustice, and first and foremost, prayers, condolence to the family of the Floyd family.
Mhm.
I can't simulate how you feeling. Lost the death of a father, brother, all that uncle, and to all those who have died due to injustice. And I want to also give homage to all those who paved the way for us to at least get what we hear down the civil rights era. Uh, like I told you, I didn't know how to feel. You feel nasty, you feel angry because we back at this situation again.
Right.
Um, I'm disgusted of a problem, America created. I don't like, you know, us looting and destroying things, especially those innocent black business and other business that has, who's innocent. It's just part of the community, because we need those also to thrive. But however, I do understand it. Like I said in comment, when you can't see hope, you don't believe in hope no more. And when you clearly see somebody literally die in front of your own camera, a lot of emotion is playing in people. And I'm not trying to blame it on COVID, but it's deeper than COVID, first of all. But people has been in the homes for at least 3 months now. So you get out and then this happened. This is just more fuel, I would say.
Yeah.
So it's more fuel. I feel bad. I don't like it. I want to do something. I have to also find out what actions I can take personally, what to do. So that kind of leads me to my next question for myself. How do we move forward? How do we strategize, mobilize going forward to keep this on the focus point of injustice? I think number one, support each other. Support each other as a race, as a culture, as a country. You have to support. Love, Trump hate. I'm not directly directed to Trump, but I'm using those words, Trump hate. Love, Trump hate. I feel, I believe it was in Flint. I saw the officer, the chief, he took off his whole battalion, got in front of people and started walking in front of them. And many officers around the world have done that. And all those videos I have saw, because I deliberately looked at all of them, I saw one thing common: love. He embraced it with love instead of trying to combat it with toughness, coming back at you. And everybody went peacefully. They walked. So love. And I know that's not a likable thing. Everybody, we don't want to hear love. We ready to fight. We ready to stand up. And like I said, when you can't see hope, that's what happens. But I'm speaking my opinion. I think I always love at the end of the day, I always start, and whatever that may look like to you. We gotta engage our communities. We got to vote. And I'm not just talking about at federal standpoint, locally. That's gonna start locally. Your district attorneys, your mayors, whoever, and then on up to your state, your government, your state government, all that, and then lead up to the federal standpoint. I think you gotta vote. How we come out and protest and against injustice. We gotta protest against those who's supposed to work for the people, to help the people, and vote the right people in, whatever that may look like to you. We got to put actions as the criminal justice system has always been a discussion. I will say this has been the most I've seen the criminal justice system been trying to take bites at it, but it got to do better. We got to find a way, put laws in, put the right people in, and really challenge those people. For example, whoever your candidate is for 2020, state, local, federal, you have the right as a citizen to put demands on them. What are you going to do for Black people? What are you going to do for minorities? What are you going to do? Put those demands, and I say put those together for a strategy for that candidate who are soliciting for our votes, right? So there are a few things that I feel next steps. It includes a lot of things. Like I said, we can be here all day, but I just want to take a few minutes of that, just kind of get our gears turning, how I felt and what I think next steps will happen. And I hand it off to Rosie. Kind of, you can take the platform. First, tell me how you feel and what you think next steps we should do.
Well, I think you said a lot. There's a lot to unpack, honestly. There's a lot of emotions. There is a lot going on right now. So I believe that it's only so much we can discuss right now. I believe the key is to continue to have the conversation continue, right? Because we see this happening year after year, right? This is not the first time this has happened. When we look at history and we look at what's been going on throughout the years, even the last, I would say 4 or 5 years, this has happened quite a bit. So I think what happens is we have to not get emotional and get in the moment, but we have to really do something to actually help the cause, right? So I know for me, it is very disheartening, really sad. I feel remorseful for everything that's going on right now. I think about my own family and friends. I was actually taking a walk in my neighborhood recently at night, a few days ago, and was walking with some friends, and one of my friends said, we probably should get back to your house. I said, why? Because we're walking in a nice neighborhood, and my friend which is a male, said, because it's getting kind of late. I'm like, late? It's not even that late. So I dug deeper, and what come to find out, this is a professional, well-established man. He felt that right now, since tensions are high, maybe he should just kind of get back to his side of town and everything like that. Right. And it really it saddened me. I'm like, you're thinking like that too? Like, I'm like, you're safe, you're good. But the reality is, you never know what can transpire for something really small, as just something like that, walking in the neighborhood, So for me, I think about, of course, prayer. I'm a big believer of prayer. I also believe that we have to pray and do something. We can't, just pray. We have to pray and do something. I believe that we all, in our own right, have different resources. We have different platforms that we can actually do. I remember years ago, I was watching actually Oprah, and she made a statement someone made a statement about Oprah, about what she gives away. Right. Yeah. And the individual, I won't say who it was, who made the statement, they said, well, you can do that. You have all these billions. And she said, but what can you do with what you have? So that's what I actually, that's what I'm actually hoping all my peers really think about. What can we do with what we have, with the resources we have, with the platform we have? We can all do something, right? Now, there's going to be different individuals who have higher platforms, more resources, more money. They can do what they can do, right? But we all do something in our own community. So that's what I've been challenging myself with recently. What can I do? And that's why I'm glad you asked me about this. It's just about starting the conversation, continuing to have the conversation continue, not just to have it and say, oh, that was a great conversation, or this happened, and the end of the year, we're not thinking about this, right? So we need to, back to what you said, we need to exercise our right to vote. But I think it's really important to understand, I think that as you continue to exercise your right to vote, don't just vote for a particular party, right? You need to know why you're voting for who you're voting for. Right. I truly believe that. I believe you need to know why you're voting for this particular candidate, know what they stand for, and you go from there. Right. I think we have to get back to educating ourselves to know why we do what we do. And also, as you mentioned before, we need to vote for in the primaries. We need to vote on our local governments. Do you know what's going on in your own state, in your own backyard? Yeah. So I think it goes back to us educating ourselves, sticking together as a community, bettering ourselves so we can better our families and our community. I believe that is something that's really important. And I just believe that no matter if you don't feel it affects you, it does. I know I mentioned I mentor youth. I always tell individuals, and I go to different parts of the, different areas to speak, whether it's a really privileged area or an urban area, less fortunate. I tell everyone, we all have the same problem. Because if we don't help the less fortunate, you understand that it's going to affect you. Yeah. So I think it's really important for us to open our really understand the importance of community. And no matter what your background is, what your ethnic group is, I think it's important to know that if you're being silent, you're still standing on the side. Right. So it's important for us all to speak up. Yeah. There is no more, well, I don't stand for this particular group, but I'm just not going to say anything. Well, you're saying something. So you need to make sure you say the right thing and use your voice to, to witness to your particular group of individuals. Yeah. Make your voice loud. It all starts with a conversation, right? So I believe those are some action steps we need to do. And I don't want to say too much. I know that, it's a short time, but I just know this is a lot to unpack right now. But I'm definitely looking at what I can do, what my community can do, my, immediate family and friends and my peers. We're looking at what we can do just to don't just make this an emotional moment. You understand?
Right.
We need to have some action. Now, what are our action steps? And I don't have the answer for that. Yeah. But that's why we're starting dialogues and talking about what can we do.
Right. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you very much. Like you said, so much to unpack. We can be all day talking about it.
Yes, we can.
So thank you. Thank you again. Appreciate
Absolutely.
that. And gonna pass it off to Nolan, but I want to just set this up. Nolan also, does great work for Less Than Power, but awesome. I've been seeing them, and I told them earlier this week, I sent them some. I told them, and I'm gonna say it right now while we're on this call, Nolan, thank you again for speaking up. As a white male, I appreciate you, because Nolan stayed downtown Memphis. He's down there. He's out there with the people. He's out speaking. He's out posting. Wow. He also capturing the moments as well.
That's awesome.
And he's combating what he see. He see people of color, and he using this, as a white man. It's appreciating. And when I see that, anybody out there, first and foremost, it brings really a heartfelt to people's hearts. I would say a company I used to work for, I see the one of the guys, top executive, put out a statement. Like, whoa, that don't happen like that. So I just want to say thank you, Nolan, again. And I'm kind of passing to you now, Nolan. Like I said, tell us how you feel. And as your part in all this, how do you feel you can help? What next steps that you're going to do just to help and support people, man, just for injustice?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for the kind words, Josh. I appreciate that. I live in Memphis, and it is a majority Black city. I think it's the largest majority Black area in the entire country. Right. And I love everything here. I love the culture, the people, just everything. So to see this kind of thing going on, and I'm from Iowa, where there's it's 3% Black population. It's a night and day shift. And you ask how I feel about the current situation. I feel angry. I feel so angry that my upbringing didn't make this more clear to me, what's happening. And I think we're seeing a lot of the ramifications of that in Omaha, in Des Moines, in Minnesota or Minneapolis, because racism up there and down here is different. And I'm trying to kind of share some of this with people I grew up with. That's kind of my aim right now. The thing I feel like I can do is just to talk to people I know that kind of know me too, and share with them why they might not be looking at things quite the right way. Up there, they say the North fought the South, and the North, we abolished slavery, and now it's over. It's gone. It's done. That we have equal rights, and that the argument I hear a lot is there is no actual law that prevents a Black person from doing something a white person does. And they're correct about that. There isn't a written law that says, well, if you're Black, you can't do that. But here's the thing. Police forces treat Black people differently and enforce those laws more harshly or differently than they do to white people. But when you're up north, you don't see it because there's just no Black people around to even see it happen to. It doesn't exist there. Then you come here in the South and you see larger Black communities, and you talk to them more, and you see it. You see it in front of your eyes. You see it in front of your face happen. It's one thing to read a story on news and media stuff about, Amy Cooper that came out last week with with the woman with the dog in Central Park.
Right.
Said, I'm going to call the cops and tell them a Black man's threatening my life. It's one thing to see that, but it's another thing to be in an area and hear people that I work with and that I've come to know and love tell me about times they've experienced racism too. It just wasn't on video. It wasn't recorded. How many times have I missed stories like this? How many times have people been hurt because nobody had a camera on them?
Yeah.
And so that makes me so angry. It makes me feel like I could have done so much more before now, but at least now there is some things I can do.
Right.
And so one of the things I've tried to do a lot is I've tried to donate to bailout funds. I can't give everything to everyone, but in cities that I care about, I've tried to give some that I can. Yeah. the other thing I try to do, like I said before, is just share information with people I grew up with. Like one of them being my mom. My mom is 75 years old. She was born in New Jersey in 1945, and you could say she is a product of her time. And she very much is. She's a very set ideology, and she's a stubborn lady too. And I love my mom, obviously, but she's just wrong about a lot of things. And so I'm trying to share stories with her about what's actually happening and what I'm seeing when I go outside, when I see police being too aggressive with someone. I'm sharing that with her. I'm sharing with people information as much as I can. And, I'm taking those pictures and I'm posting them because I want the world to also see that Memphis can do it peacefully, because for the most part we have. There's been so stories have come out that violence has broken out in Memphis, and that's true. However, I actually witnessed most of that firsthand. And what I've witnessed pales in comparison to what's going on in the rest of the country. And so, my heart goes out to local Memphians who aren't escalating this to the extreme degrees that it has gone elsewhere. And also hats off to the Memphis Police Department for not striking back as hard as other police departments. Yeah. The shining light moment I saw, it was Sunday night, and that's when the shoe store on Main Street, which is a black-owned business, it was vandalized. The window was broken out. I saw them break the window out, and police, instead of getting out and shooting and pushing, they turned the sirens on their cars and they just kept pushing us off Main Street. It's like, we just want everyone out of downtown area. We want everyone in a more controlled environment. So they pushed everyone out of that environment. I feel like a lot of other police departments would have started shooting right there, would have started arresting, started shooting, started hurting, but they didn't. And I also saw a protester approached a squad car and kind of was knocking on the windows and beating on the door and stuff. Now the officer inside, he got out of the car and he pushed one protester away from the car and he maced another one. And he kind of threw his arms in the air and said, like, y'all need to go home, like, get out of here. And another officer got out of their squad car, which was behind him, got out, walked up and just put it was a white officer and the black officer was mad. Okay, so I don't feel that the race of the officers is all that important, but this is what happened. The white officer put his arms around the black officer and just led him back to his car. So he de-escalated that situation, and that's what police should be doing right now. Especially, we're protesting police brutality, and they're meeting it with brutality. It's ridiculous to see all that. So, I don't want to go on for too long, but the things that you can do, especially if you're a white guy like me, speak out, share information, try to make sure that the information you're sharing is correct. You can call public officials, demand for the arrest of certain individuals. I called Omaha Police Department asking for the arrest of, his name escapes me now, but he shot the young man on Saturday night in the Old Market district, and he was shot in the neck and killed. So I demanded the arrest of him. I demanded the arrest of an officer in Austin, Texas, who shot a pregnant woman with a rubber bullet, and she's currently in critical condition. So those are smaller things you can do. You can donate to bailout funds. That helps everyone right now. And this is the biggest thing, is listen. Listen to our Black brothers and sisters, because I was marching 2 days in a row and I'm exhausted. I'm just so tired now. My body is exhausted. This is what I feel Black people have probably felt like their entire lives. I can't even imagine. So it's not actually up to me to tell people how to protest. It's not up to me to tell other people how to feel. It's up to me to share with other people how the Black community feels and the changes that they want to see. It's not up to me to say, these are the changes we need to make. No, it's up to me to listen, to learn, and to educate, to get the information from the Black community and then push that as much as I can. So I'm waiting on the queue of others to teach me what needs to be done, and then I will do my best to do it. So that's where I'm at right now.
I love that.
Yeah, I love it, man. Appreciate your candid honesty, man, and doing the work. You said another thing, donating. I appreciate that. That was deep. A lot of people need to hear that. That was very
Yes.
deep, and I appreciate it, my brother. Appreciate it. You know,
Thank you. You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Before we kind of wrap up here, Rosie, you wanted to add anything? Say anything?
Only thing I wanted to add is you mentioned, and I appreciate that, Nolan. You mentioned that, you know, you can't. Only thing you can do is listen and like have empathy, right? And that's really important right now, because sometimes what happens is it's almost like a rubber band, right? You know, and I feel like this sometimes with the Black community. You know, we've been stretched, right? So eventually, once you keep stretching it, it's going to break. It's gonna break, right?
Right.
So I believe that that's what's happening right now, and that's why I think that these platforms are really important. Have these conversations are really important, because you mentioned in the beginning, Josh, it's love. That's important, right? It is all about love, right? And love doesn't come in any color, right? So I think we need more of this, where the community itself sees that we all can come together. We all can get on one accord. We really can. We just have to listen to each other, and have empathy, and also understand that we can start making changes together. Right. So that's what I want to say. You know, I appreciate this platform. I appreciate you doing this, Josh, and hopefully, you know, in the future we can have more conversations like this, right. Because it's needed.
Yes. Thank y'all for all jumping on. You know, your schedules in the day. I appreciate it. Nolan, once again. Rosie, Queen, thank you so much. Thank you, audience, everybody. Tune in. Let's empower. When you can't see hope, people will rise. Thank y'all for tuning in to Let's Empower. See y'all next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.